My friends, hello and welcome to a very special GoldenEye SpeedLore live stream. Tonight we're going to rewatch in SpeedLore format all or half of my personal records in GoldenEye 007 speedrunning. This concept was first performed by top 90 speedrunner Cal Brabham in his Mate Chat series, which I do recommend, by the way. And it's a series where he would usually chat with a fellow leader in kind of a laid-back manner for a few hours. And after, a few dozen episodes, he decided, let's chat with myself, and decided to do a stream where he rewatched all of his 60 personal records, and it was pretty cool and epic. So big shout out to Cal for the concept, and I see that he's here in chat tonight. So hello indeed. And this watch party of of all your personal records in a live stream has been done by JD Black 21 as well, and he's also here, so hello to him as well. And it's a cool stream, a cool idea, so I figured why not do it in the SpeedLore format. So my personal records span from 2006 to the present day, which is pretty insane. I started speedrunning GoldenEye in 2005, although I've beaten all the records I set that year, but I still have some from 2006, as we will find out tonight. Before we get into those runs, though, a little bit of housekeeping. I had planned and announced that I would do a series going through the history of DLTK speedruns and completions, and I still intend on doing that. We will get to that, but the slight problem, and a good problem to have at that, is that the DLTK episodes might only show like 5 or 6 total runs in an episode, because sometimes a DLTK level takes like 10 minutes to complete, and there was a lot of trimming down early on in the game's history. But there's often more run dedications than 5 or 6 runs. So I have to figure out exactly how to format those DLTK episodes, but I do still plan on getting to those, and so, we'll see how that works out. But tonight is the night to start the watch party of my personal bests. Obviously, you have 60 personal bests in GoldenEye, which is a lot of personal bests. That's probably too many. That would probably go like 4 or 5 hours. So tonight we're going to start out by watching 30. We're going to start out by watching the first half. So Dam through Statue. And in fact, I'm going to start with Facility, because my Dam runs are a bit heavy in nature. So we're going to start with Facility. I'm having a good time reflecting and going through my personal records over the years, which is pretty amazing. And I see, in fact, that Cal has said in chat that he took the idea from Madman Fletcher. So I guess Madman Fletcher was the first person to do this 60 PBs watch party. So a big shout outs to Madman Fletcher as well. And of course you can check out his Learning to Speedrun GoldenEye for Beginners series. So that's cool and dandy, and let's get right into it. So the very first run that I'm going to show tonight is actually kind of funny, and it's not one of my PBs anymore, and there's only going to be a few of these I'm going to show. I'm going to show mostly my times page as is. My personal best on Facility Agent is 44 seconds, but my 45 is a run that I've never really showed before, and it's like kind of iconic in some weird ways. So I'm going to show my 45 first. My Facility Agent 45. When I got it, it was worth 94 points. So only 3 people had better. And I'm going to double check now, but my guess is that only the record was 44. And yes, Ace, Clem, and Mark Rutsu had 44. So 45 was still going to be considered a very, very good time when I went for it. And in fact, Ace had just gotten 43. So I had 46. Those 3 had 44. Ace got 43. I'm like, okay, now I need to trim it down and get 45. And so I went for 45. Now, my live streams at the time were like very, very strange, unusual. I was streaming from it was like brand new stream. So I'm 23 years old. I'm obviously living with my folks at the time still, and I was in a bedroom right next door to their room, and I would stream late at night because I didn't want to be interrupted. And so I'd try to be quiet on the microphone, which is kind of funny, especially when my later streams would come about. I'd be very raged and loud. So I'm trying to always be very quiet and like be excited, but not too excited, you know, stuff like that. So yes, so here I am, speedrunning facility. I want 45. I'm a little bit disadvantaged because I'm playing 1.1 control style, cruise control, probably 16.9 still. This took place in January 2013, and the run will be dedicated to a SpeedLore champion, Sul O'Rock, baby. What a champion. A huge thanks to Sul O'Rock for supporting the series on Patreon. As we carry on through SpeedLore, let's take an amazing look at my facility agent. 45 seconds achieved 9 years ago. Something's barely changed. The webcam was like this Microsoft Life Cam that I had gotten like years before. That would have been a Coke in that picture for sure. A little bit of a hang up there. This might be before the lure strategy. It was. No, it wasn't. Most people do a left strafe lure, where you shoot the KF7 there and lure that door open. But I did it in right strafe for some reason. I guess it still worked. And that was probably the thing that was recently found that led to Ace getting 43. Yeah, I'll say silly pent, I'll say. Yeah, 1.2 for sure. It was 1.2 at the time. This is not it. Take off the shirt in shock. Losing my mind. There was a brief period of time when being shirtless on Twitch would get you banned. This was before that was the case. We're now post shirtless bans as well.
I want to thank God. I want to thank Inkosi for being a great person and telling me the truth and encouraging me always. And I want to thank Clemens for giving me good advice on how to do some things properly. And I don't know what else to say. That was amazing. Truly, this is amazing. You know, for the first time now in my career, I've passed Ilari Picala, and it's amazing. This is it. It's amazing.
That's actually kind of a big deal. I remembered something about Alu in this video, but that's actually pretty crazy. Obviously, I think Mark may have been in chat, which prompted me to mention thanks to Inkosi. And it's uncommon because Mark is very rarely in Golden Knight chats nowadays. And Clem, True Faith, gave me some helpful tips on facility. And yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the ranks now, and I passed Ilu probably for like 6th or 7th place at the time. And it's funny because now I'm 15th and he's 16th. So I'm still ahead of Ilu, but the two of us, as we've gotten a little bit older, have really fallen down the rankings a little bit. And that's how it goes as you get older, you know? Yeah, the lure strat is kind of funny. I think on my next run I'll show I do it differently, but like doing it in right strafe here, like that strafe switch is what some would say is controversial now, which just means kind of silly and strange. But it's a decent run. It's well executed, well performed. Guys are saying it's a high 45, but it was a 45, and that's what mattered the most. That's what mattered the most, 45. So a very epic run there, and a memorable one. Of course, great reaction, and some of my earliest streams, right? I started streaming like this in October 2012, actually on a capture card that a gentleman named DKK5, a perfect dark runner, mailed me because it didn't work on his computer anymore. It worked on like Windows XP only, and he was upgraded to Windows 7. I mean, it's insane when I think about, like, this run was January 2013. So already when I was playing it, I'm like, oh my god, I've been speedrunning this game for like 7.5 years. That's so long. What am I doing still speedrunning this game? But meanwhile, now that's 9 years ago. So this run is longer ago from today than this run was to when I started playing, which is just complete insanity to think about, you know? Now that I'm at 16.5 years of playing this game and being involved in the community. About 2 years later, I would finally improve my record on Facility Agent. And it was technically New Year's Eve 2014, and so I would have been 25, but I would have still been like going out for New Year's at the time. So it was like actually December 30th into the 31st, right? So it was just in the early hours of the 31st. Otherwise, I wouldn't be streaming on New Year's Eve back then because I was way too cool to to stay in and play video games on New Year's Eve. So December 2014 would have been like a good time in my stream, actually, because I would have streamed a lot through 2013 and 2014, and then I went back to school in 2014, fall 2014. So my streams were pretty sporadic in there, but certainly on weekends I would try to do a stream or two sometimes, or if I had like the day off, I would stream that night. And obviously over the Christmas break, I was able to stream a lot. And so Facility 44 was something I was like, it was a weird time, because once again, 3 guys had 43 as the world record. And it was Ace, Clem, actually Ace, Mark, and Luke Sklar's had 43. So I think 44 was getting more and more common. I didn't have it yet, and I felt like I was losing points. I was bleeding points. And so I was like, okay, I need to get 44. And again, at this point, I was still playing 1.1, and I think this is a 1.1 untied by like 3 seconds. I think the next fastest 1.1 Facility Agent time is 47 seconds, which is pretty insane. And this is a funny run because it was literally second try that night. So like I completely caked it, and I just laugh hysterically, which is epic. Like I'm here eating a pretzel and listening to music, and then 2 runs later I have 44. And it is one of the most insane things that I got 44 like that easily with 1.1 cruise control, you know? And so it's an amazing run we're going to watch, and I'm going to dedicate to a SpeedLore champion, our pal Silent Sputnik. A huge shout out and thanks, Silent Sputnik, for supporting the series on Patreon. Let's take a look at my Facility Agent 44 seconds. Okay. I'm going to start playing as soon as the song ends, which is 10 seconds. When I first rewatched this clip, I was trying to think, like, what song is it? I believe let's do this. It was a song by an artist, Foxes, who was in the song Clarity with Zed, which was a big dance hit in 2013. So yeah, that's pretty epic. It's one of the Bakery Boys. And then literally, the first run of the night, miss the door, press. Sometimes you lose sight of it. It's like, people like your stream, you know, subs, because they like your stream, which is cool. But it's like, they're paying money because they like your stream. It's pretty dope. It is kind of funny how I literally say I'm going to the bakery. Like, I'm gonna let's cake this time. So warp there, now I'm in left strafe. KF7. Shoot the 9 times. That lures the guard to open this door. Really nice run now. 3 boosts here. Good Trev.
This might be it.
Might be it, baby. Caked. Caked.
I'm done.
And of course I didn't have a good layout, so I'd have to like go and like cut in the chat afterwards. I didn't know that I could, you know, pre-plan. I probably only had 1 monitor at the time. 1 or 2 at best.
Good night, everyone. Happy New Year.
But it was kind of like part of my stream is that I would go and cut in the chat afterwards. That was pretty funny and epic. Great run. Pretty funny. Yeah, Sean Bond 45 was in chat. Unbelievable.
People like...
It's just a good, solid run, and I mean, it's unbelievable with 1.1, honestly. I almost felt through the years that I could possibly get 43 with 1.1, but it would be pretty insane. Like, it's a well-played run, but I don't know, there's part of me that just feels like maybe that boost could have been better if I hit on the corner. Not exactly sure. So yeah, pretty epic. And I noticed it was funny that like Trouble Clef was in chat, and like Trouble Clef notoriously took ages for 45 on for 44 on facility. Let's see if I can find it. He took 120 hours to get this time, and so he was in there excited that I caked it, and you know, he didn't cake it. Yeah, 44 is worth 87 points now. 10 people have better. You know, it's hard to know if I could go for lower and what I should do exactly, but you know, it is what it is. 44, I'm happy. I was happy at the time, and I'm still pretty happy with that. Next one we're going to see is Facility Secret Agent 54. So I was playing Facility at the time, and this one was actually 3 days before my 44. So December 28th, 2014. Let's just watch it and see what happens. At the time, I think I would give subscribers and donos 20 minutes of runs dedicated to them. I think I would like update it manually. It may have been automatic though, I'm not sure. Wow, the audio is kind of choppy. Pretty crazy. This insane captured run from 2014. And we can see my PB of 55 was set in July 2010. I think it was the world record when I got it.
Open doors, which is a good sign. Getting fucking stuck on that asshole is not a good sign.
Man, that's crazy. I think there's a raw version, Cal.
Don't know if this is still 54 pace.
I think... Yeah, so my 55 was a world record when set, but Boss beat it only a week or 2 later. So it was one of those times when you kind of feel bad that your record gets beat quickly, but then I would get 54 a little later. The record at the time was 52, though, so again, it's still kind of lagging behind Ace and those guys.
I don't know, man. Okay. That's how we do it.
When is Glover is in chat? That's actually insane. It's insane to think that Glover has been around that long, for like 8 years. Like, it kind of blows my mind. Yes, Sinks. This will absolutely go on YouTube on the SpeedLore channel.
Facility 54, 43 minutes. That didn't take too long.
I mean, I caked it. 43 minutes. I think 2014 is when I was playing the best GoldenEye of my life, by far. I got a lot of really good PBs in 2014, and most of them were in the summertime, as we'll see some more tonight. But like this one was later in the year, but still. I mean, to cake Facility SA54 and then also cake Facility 44 not much longer later, it's pretty insane. 54 is only worth 79 points now, and so like 20 people have better. 18 people have better, but there was actually a big mistake, right? I was happy, and I say it, that I'm getting a lot of the open doors. It's hard to get the lure and get the door open on Secret and Double Agent, and actually on my double OPB, which we'll watch in a second, I don't get the door open. But I was happy that I was getting it consistently, but then I get not warp the objective A door, the one to the labs. And so like, could I have gotten 53? Could I still get 53? 53 is a good time. It's still only 6 people have better than 53. So if I were to get back into speedrunning this game for points, that wouldn't be a bad place to start. Maybe. I don't know. Let's take a look again.
I'm getting more of these open doors, which is a good sign. Getting fucking stuck on that asshole is not a good sign.
Yeah, so like, that probably cost me potentially 53. So like, maybe, I don't know. It makes me think, you know? Let's watch my double agent run, which is the least good, and it's actually one of my worst times on the whole rankings. I have a few that have bled out worse, but this is ranked 30th, so 29 people have better. I only have 55 here. And this was done in January 2013, so it was when I got 45 agent, and it just was not live streamed. It was only captured. It's in 16.9. I switched away from 16.9 at GDQ 2014 in the back rooms. So up until January 2014, I was using 16.9. And this is January 2013, so a year before I would stop using 16.9. That was pretty cool, though. Holding 0 ammo to back switch automatically to warp the door. Man, this is like it's a slow run, but it's like, it's not that easy to get lower. It's not easy to get the open door lure on double O agent because you need to pass away 2 guards. I mean, this was a solid PB when I got it, to be sure. 55 seconds, and I was content with it. But yeah, early on, you need to like you need enough ammo, so you need to pass at least 2 guards away. You need like, I mean, I could have tried it here, because you need at least 9 shots to lure this guy, and then like 6 more over here. So it would have worked with that ammo, but it's hard to consistently pass away the 2 guards and do it fast enough to get the lure still, because you have to be pretty fast. And on top of all that, you need Doke to be there, then you need a good Trev. And so getting lower than 55 is tough, and I was happy enough with 55. So I'll take it, you know? I had gotten 57 and 56 as world records, but those were my last world records on the stage. So, there we go. Facility 0055. It is what it is, baby. Alright, now we're going to move to one of my earliest world records. Not my earliest, but actually pretty close. So, my first world record was on Runway. Secret Agent 23, which I had in 2005. I have lowered that since. But a year later, I was playing Runway. It's 2006, and I'm going for Runway Agent 22. This was an insane time because Boss got 22 in 2004, which was like one of the best world records ever at the time, which is kind of funny. Then Mouser slayed it in May 06. And then it started to, not quite snowball, but for the time, more people tied it. It's kind of amazing that Jimmy Bauer was the third person to tie the time, and then I was the fourth 2 days after Bauer in November '06. And I don't remember what the original song I used was. It might have been "O Fortuna" is what I vaguely remember. You know, that do 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 do. But then ever since the video's been like re-uploaded and put on the YouTube library and stuff, that's been changed around many times, and all the songs that were on the YouTube library back in the day are now copyrighted, and so, you know, it is what it is. The digital camera I was using to record my runs at the time could not record audio. So that's why I never had audio in my runs back then. I would always make a music version, and that's how things were back then. It was fine. This one is notable because it had 6 boosts. I'm not sure if the other guys before me got it with 6 boosts. I think they may have. This was with 1.2 control style though, for sure. I did not get this with 1.1. And I could play 1.2 as long as there weren't like too many doors to open. And so this level had like 1 door, I could handle that. And it worked, and it was only 6 boosts, which is insane because Boss's original was famously 7 boosts. So yeah, go over here, chuck the nade down. Yeah, because one of the boosts tanked really hard. There's 1, 2. I think that was a KF7, 2, 3, 4, and then so that one of those tanked hard, and then another one must tank hard here, and then 5. Oh, that one did pretty hard. 5, 6. And I wonder, JD. I'm not sure if it's like resolved now, but like, is it known that taking more damage from a grenade boosts you better? Because like logically it would make sense, because this was 22 with 6 boosts with 1.2, and I finished with Ghost Health. So it makes sense that like the more damage a boost does, the bigger it pushes you, you know? That's something interesting to think about, I would say. Yeah, Ilu, I was wondering about your earliest DLTK video. Like, I swear I saw a facility DLTK video of yours from like 2004 of like your 8-minute DLTK time, which was like the first DLTK time ever, but like it doesn't seem to exist anymore as far as I know. Like, I swear that I saw it once. Facility DLTK. Ilu, but like, I might be making it up entirely, you know? It might be like I'm Mandela affecting myself. That's interesting that it's confirmed, JD, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's my 22, and that's my PB still from 2006. I don't have 21. You know, Boss still has his 22 from 2004, so that's pretty epic. I was on the first line of 22s, which is pretty epic. Like on the rankings, like if I just look at the rankings now today, it's like if you're on the first line of a multi-tied record, you're happy. So like Streets, I'm on the second line. Like Runway 22, which went 100 plus people, I was on the first line, which is pretty nice. I was maybe on the first line. I was on the second line of this next run, Runway Secret Agent 22. So I remember when Boss got Runway Secret Agent 22, I was shocked. Like I said, Runway Agent 22 was an amazing world record, and 23 was my first world record on Secret Agent, right? And it just felt like no one would ever get 22 on Secret Agent, because you also have to throw and destroy the battery. And when Boss got it, I couldn't believe it. I actually was in like a hiatus. I've been on a few in my career, but 2010 to 11, or 2011 to 12. Yes, 2011 to 12, I was on a hiatus from the forums and stuff. And actually, Boss's Runway Secret Agent 22 was one of the things that like caused me to be like, oh my god, like, I have to say something about this because it's insane. It blew my mind. And so I hadn't posted on the forum for roughly 1 year. But he got it in June 2012, and I posted again. I was like, I broke my 1 year streak of not posting. I'm like, this is insane. Like, congratulations, it's an insane run. And the only trick he used was that he used control style 2.2. So he saved a third of a second to start. And they figured out how to get it that way. And what's poetic about Runway Secret Agent 22 is that the person who slayed Boss's run was Mouser once again, which is really insane, especially because Mouser, like, hadn't played that much and, like, hadn't been playing recently. But, like, he slayed Boss's Runway Secret Agent 22, which is really, really crazy. So, fascinating kind of side note on that. Anyways, over the years, 22 accumulated few ties. Like, by 2016, only had 4 ties, and then Luke, and Mirror Mage, Mark Williams got it. Who's that guy again? Baptiste. He got it. So a few people got it, and I was like, man, I was at a time now when I just finished school. You know, remember I mentioned I'd gone back in 2014, and so it's kind of later in 2016. And I was kind of just coming back to the game. I got a few new times. I was like, let's get my feet back into this. And this was a time I'm like, let's get this time. And I had coined this phrase about, like, if you get a time that's, like, decent and would take a bit of a grind for someone else to get, and you're kind of, like, forcing their hand, and, like, if they want a certain amount of points on a level or a world record or leaderboards, they'll have to get this time. It becomes a new standard. It's almost irresponsible. I was kind of joking about it being irresponsible because now you're causing another player to improve one of their times and waste some of their personal time playing the game again. You know, kind of like a cheeky, or, you know, one of those moments where you think, you know, is it worth it, etc. So I figured if I get Runway Secret Agent 22, I would have been like the 9th person to get it, 8th or 9th person to get it. I'm going to cause this... I was the 8th. I'm going to cause this time to now be... This is irresponsible of me, because if you want a good Runway overall score, you'll need Runway SA22, which will be a grind. But I went out and did it anyways, and I remember it not being that hard. I remember getting it decently. I guess again, I could play 2.x reasonably well. Nice boost there. And yeah, the trick Boss used for... the battery, usually would go in left strafe here for the 23s, but you could just kind of do a little spin and get boosted and chuck the nade and would blow up. And so now that was 5 boosts. 5 boosts became enough for 22 speed. And that's largely thanks to 2.x saving about a boost's worth of time at the beginning of the level, so it makes sense that it can be done with 5 boosts. You know, 1 throwdown. This was a really well-timed throwdown. Get the key. Perfect boost. On Secret Agent, you want to take as little health as possible, and that was, like, perfect. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Really nice boost there. Great boosts. And then you could get 1 more boost here, but, like, you know, it's not a big deal. And beautiful run, 22 seconds. And so I was the 8th person to get this, and now 52 people have it. So it could be said that I did cause this to irresponsibly snowball through the rankings in years. So I'm sorry. Sorry to anyone who's wasted time on this stage, but that's life. Yeah, most people nowadays get 22 Secret Agent by looking down, but yeah. Because now that we know 5 boosts can do it, you can, like, do 1 or 2 looking down, and then hope for 2 more, which is better. I think no, Flicker. I think it was just because Japanese was, like, new to me at the time. It was still kind of... I mean, it was a few years old, but, like, still. I think it was caking 22 was on Agent on Japanese for some reason, even though, like, again, it's a level that it doesn't really matter. So I don't exactly... there was no logical reason behind it. It was probably just the cart that was in my console at the time, so... Alright, next run is at certainly an interesting time in my stream. I'd probably say, you know, maybe some strange, unusual things during this run, but that was our mood in April 2017. Runway 0032. Yeah, so at this point, it does kind of tie in. Even though it feels like it was like a world apart in time, the 22 Secret Agent was September 2016. This was April 2017. And so in January 2017 is when I started SpeedLore, and when I started streaming somewhat regularly again and grinding for Golden Eye Records again. And I've got like Cradle, and I got a few other times early on in 2017. And then I was like, I want to do like a kind of a defining grind, a grind that really is going to be insane, you know, an epic grind. And Runway 00 was interesting to me because at the time, I still had 38 seconds, which I had gotten as a world record, using the tank back in like 06. But now, everyone else had gotten lower than 38 with grenade strategies. And I despise these grenade strategies. They were difficult. They were very arcane knowledge that was not easily transmittable in forum posts and stuff. There were some tutorials which helped, but 3 guys had 32. Randy Bukima, Graviton, and Walton Matei, Hotshot. These were kind of the Runway 00 specialists. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'll just go for 32. Like, it's kind of insane. I could get a slower time maybe, but like I want to improve my 38. It was really bleeding points. Let's go for 32. And I definitely would not have got it unless like Grav was hand feeding me knowledge about how to throw the nades and like time the you have to do 3 Arlenes basically, 1 on the battery and 2 on the far drones, and it's hard. It's really hard. And I played. It took me a month. It literally took me like a month to do it. And finally, you know, Grav sent me a tutorial of like the timing of the Arlene press, and then one like mapping. There's a very particular turn after the second battery throw, second drone throw, and a very kind of hook turn. You have to kind of do it way more exaggerated than you think you do. But that was like the final key, and then after like a month of grinding, I finally got it. A very strange, unusual time in my stream. But a time nonetheless. This is a time in your life, you know? And this one was funny because, yeah, at the time in stream we were saying everything was cuck this, cuck that, you know, red pill this, etc. That was the vibe of the stream. And it was really a silly, like very aggressive time in my stream and chat and all that kind of stuff. Like very angry and aggressive. But out of that, sometimes we did get some new personal records, and this was one of them. I remember this song 5, 6, 7, 8 by Steps was like heavily played in my stream at the time to like really pump us up and encourage us and get us going. 5, 6, 7, 8. Great song. I think we made a Nightcore version now, which is really good too. Yeah, crazy. It's one of those points in life where you look back and you're like, wow, that was insane. It was a purely insane time. Probably not in the best of ways either. But it is what it is, and so this run, a remarkable runner reaction, we are dedicating this run, baby, to our SpeedLore champion, RCP90, baby. Legendary name, SpeedLore champion. Huge thanks for supporting the stream on Patreon. Wow, let's take a look.
I'm gonna get boosted. Yep. I knew it. I called it. I could sense it. Yep.
So it's like I'm like on the edge of like getting really angry there because I've been doing this for hours and hours and hours.
Well, Wikis, we better switch over the stream to, you know, something after I get this time then. So.
Here we go. Chuck the nade. So Arlene here.
Let's go.
Nice boost. That was a great boost. Arlene here. And a real big hook. Arlene here.
This has a chance.
Has a chance.
Yes! Oh! This is fucking 32. I don't even give a shit. Taking the fucking 32 to the fucking bank. Yes! Fuck yes! Oh! Fuck you, Runway. Holy fucking shit. Fucking degenerate cock level. Fuck you, Runway. Oh. Finally did it.
I was pretty happy, and I was like kind of playing up the hype as well. But chat was so pumped. Like, look at chat flowing. We had an insane chat, and what can I say?
Oh my god. I haven't seen a chat explosion like this for a while. That's for sure.
Pretty cool, pretty epic run. Very tough to pull off. And I would then go, since I was starting to make like content on my channel at the time, I wasn't exactly sure what I was doing. So I just did I didn't want to upload just a 2-minute clip of me playing. So I'd always go into like an explanation of like what you saw in that run. And that's what I have next in this video. I'm not going to show it tonight because that would take way too long, and we're actually already going way longer than I expected. What is very interesting now, though, is that on the rankings, like, no one else has gotten 32. Only Joachim Lung, who, you know, has 27, the new one tied, went and got 32. So, like, it's kind of insane that in 5 years now, only one person has gotten 32 or lower. Like, that's really, really crazy, right? You know, I can't be the only one who thinks that's insane. But yeah, Grav got 31, 30, 29, 28, was on one of the longest stay on tides, and then Joachim beat it this year, which is pretty insane. Well, still, then no one has 28 yet, which I think is interesting. I think it's interesting that in 5 years, only one person has that time or better. Like, that's pretty insane, right? And so it was cool to skip that time. I remember one guy in particular, Jazz, like, messaged me on Telegram being like, man, like, that's way to go, Goose. You got the 32. You know, no one else wanted to go for it, and you got it. And I was like, you know, thanks, Jazz. If you're in the Elite community, you kind of know Jazz is a very interesting character. So to have a wholesome, lucid congratulations from him, it was cool. You know, it's like, hey, thanks, buddy. And yeah, it's kind of funny because there are times that I probably got 5 years ago that like have really bled terribly, but like this one is held up great. And like obviously I'm not gonna get 20 or 27, like that's insane. So like, man, this held up. It was one of those times where like I feel like this is a bit above my level to go for, and like I'm not a specialist in this level. But, like, let's go for it and see what happens. And obviously, good things happened. One side note that I always find interesting is that, like, in 2017, when I got this time, it was April 27th. And on the level, you have to Arlene nades and stuff. And I mentioned this in the Runway 00 SpeedLore episode, but there was literally a tropical storm Arlene, which lasted from April 19th to April 21st. So, like, while I was grinding this level full of Arlenes, there was a tropical storm spinning around the Atlantic named Tropical Storm Arlene. And so I always have thought that was kind of funny and epic, you know, so Tropical Storm Arlene while I was Arlening away. Very, you know, random and funny. Yeah. Alright. Next one is, yeah, funny stuff. Okay. Yeah, it really is Supreme Banana. I agree. So the next run is my Surface 1 Agent 102. 102 was the world record on the stage. It was actually one of the oldest records in the game's history. It was beaten by Cali last year. But, like, yeah, if we go to the list here, we can see 6th all time was Surface 1 102 by Clement 08. Finally beat my Cali in 2021. And so this was a time that was tricky for me because at the very end you have to shoot off locks, which is like a really fast movement. So you can't play with 1.1. And so I had to play 1.2, which was a little bit uncomfortable for me because there was too many doors than I wanted on this level. You know, I could play 1.2 on Statue and Streets and Dam, but Surface 1 was a bit pushing it for me. But I knew if I wanted 102, I had to play 1.2, and so I did. I remember this being a bit of a grind, like probably a couple weeks of grinding, and it was August, which is not a time when I would usually play. Okay, July 29. So it was like just a little bit after I got some really amazing records. Like I would say this moment in time was when I was playing my best GoldenEye. I just got Streets, Secret Agent 154, Silo 101, and I would get a couple other times that we'll talk about later in the preceding weeks, in the following weeks. So this was like summer 2014 was like, I think today still, when I was playing my most skilled GoldenEye of all. And it's just a good run. I have a good reaction pop off to it. And so we're going to dedicate to a brand new SpeedLore champion, believe it or not. Sofa Pals Productions. A huge thanks, Sofa Pals, for supporting the stream on Patreon. This run goes out to you. And let's take a look.
I really need to fucking start using 2.2 here.
That's
I
right.
have 102 by now, probably.
Some people would use 2.2, which saves a third of a second to start, but I just felt like that was way too hard to manage in the building and stuff. Like, even today, I don't think I could comfortably play 2.2 here. Cali obviously did for 101, but, like, I was like, that's too much for me. Nice slap. I remember doing this Surface 1 Agent SpeedLore, being surprised that like every single run slapped that guard. I thought some shot him, but I was wrong. Open the door, strafe up in here. You just want like a really good 15 or 18 shot ending to get 102. I close the door on myself. Kind of more of a thing to keep your mind occupied on a kind of a boring level. Good look down. You want to look down somewhat, but not too much. You want a bit of lag. Go! 17 shots, because my crouch R-aimer interrupted one burst.
Yes! 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 Fuck, man. Holy fuck. Was not expecting that to happen. Nice. Alright, I'm fucking done here. Insane fucking locks. That's all. Insane fucking locks. Alright, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with that.
I was pretty happy for sure. And yeah, so crouching at the very end, usually the game doesn't interpret Bond's like vertical axis, but like it does here for some reason. Like you can't crouch under the opening doors on Depot. It doesn't affect the speed at which you can go under them. But like falling into the grate on Surface 1, it does consider it. It's really weird. And so crouching here does save time at the very end. And pressing R interrupts your burst of ammo. Usually goes in shots of 3, so 12, 15, 18, 21. And so I only shoot 17 times at the end, which is kind of rare to get a burst interrupted as you're falling in.
Go!
Like, those were nice locks.
Yes! 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 Fuck, man. Holy fuck.
I was really pumped about that one. I was really happy, and because it was 103 was a record that I had for a while, but it had started to bleed quite significantly. And so I was like the 12th person to get 102 roughly. Just kind of eyeballing it from the rankings, you know. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Exactly right. Yeah, funny stuff. Lockwood, Santos, Mirror, these guys beat me to it. But a good record. So yeah, I was starting. Would have been worth like 87 points, 103. And I was like, I guess I need to improve it for 102, and so I did. Was pretty happy. And that run will stand up pretty well, I think. Like, I doubt that many people get 101 over the next few years. But who knows? Who knows, baby? Okay, about a week later, I was streaming on my full stream. This is one of the better records I've achieved on stream live. Surface 1, Secret Agent 148. And what happened with this record was, like, back in the day, the record was 150, obviously. And I had it. And then it went, I almost untied 149, but, like, missed the B press on the console in early 07. And that was really kind of annoying. And so Boss and Clem and beat me to 149 Secret Agent. I would tie 149 Secret Agent, but then the lads would get to lowering it to 148. Mark Rutsu in particular. And so again, it was Mark, Clem, Ace, and then Mirror Mage was the fourth to get 148. Pretty insane run from Mirror Mage. And you can see this record took me 45 hours to get. But it was always one of my favorite levels. I think it's one of the best levels in the game, still to this day. I really think it is one of the best levels. And so I was like, it's one of my favorites. Let's stream it. Let's go for it. And you can see my old PB was July 2007, and we're now in August 2014, so 7 years later. It's crazy to think that 7.5 years have since passed, but they have. So that's something. And I went out there and got this run. I was really pumped. One of my all-time favorite runs, honestly. And as a result, we're going to dedicate it to a SpeedLore champion, our pal FC Bojangles. A huge thanks, FC, for your support on Patreon. Let's take a look at this amazing, amazing speedrun. Yeah, it's kind of interesting because
I remember once in the NHL, Zdeno Chara was drinking a Coca-Cola on the bench. And apparently they legitimately told him, like, hey, NHL sponsored by Pepsi, not Coke. So if you're gonna drink a Coke on the bench, you can't, show the label.
it's true, I was really tanned back then. Especially like 2008, 2014, I would spend a lot of time at the cabin on the beach. And I would get really, really tanned. And people thought it was a fake tan. And there was a while where, like, there was an ongoing speedrunning thread on 4chan's video game board called SRG. And the guys there were quite the troll posters, you know, not too dissimilar from me at the time, especially. But they would, like, say that I was a Guido, you know, like Jersey Shore, like fake tanning and stuff. Never had fake tan in my life. It was all natural tan. All natural tan. And I probably wore sunglasses, that's why it, like, looked a bit intense on the eyes, but, like, all natural tan. 100%. Good run with lots of boosts. Insane pickup. I mean, to this day, it's still one of my favorite records. Absolutely. Open the door. See, I used to think about doing left strafe through the door, keeping left strafe, and I think it might be the strat now by Cali on 146. But at the time, people said, oh no, it's weird and slow and laggy. And so I, like, stopped doing it. I kind of got talked out of doing something that was logically better, you know, which is interesting to think about. Nailed the run. I was usually good at this, honestly.
This is it. 100%.
100%.
100%. This is it. Yeah, baby! Yep! I fucking knew it! Yes! Woo! Woo! 148, baby! That's what I'm fucking talking about right there. Oh man, that was such a good run. So good.
People used to say I look like Vince Vaughn all the time back then. Like in my streams in 2013.
Knew it. That was 148 all the fucking way, man.
My streams in 2013 and 14, constantly, you look like Vince Vaughn.
I clutched it. Perfect run, man. Perfect run.
I mean, really good run. I forgot to count the boosts there, but like I know it was a good run, and so this was the last record on my kind of heater through summer 2014. When I got Silo 101, Streets 154, Surface 102, Depot 25. This was the last in that string. At this point, I probably maybe went back to the cabin, maybe was preparing to go back to school in the fall. That's when I started going back to school. So it's kind of it's a cool run-in moment. Like, I would honestly say if there was a point in my live streams that I could go back to and like keep living on outwards, it would be summer 2014. And I probably would have started making content back then way earlier than any other speedrunner and kept rolling with the streams. But hey, life is life. Things change, things get in the way, and that's the way she goes, baby. But at least we have this to look back upon fondly and happily, and it was good times. A really, really good run, and yeah. It was only the world record for 2 years. Riolo got 147 only 2 years later, which is amazing. But it was a very happy record for me. Yeah, well, it's a good point, Coldfire. Okay, so now we're going to show Surface 1 149. This was a record that... Okay, I got this in April 2012. So there was a period, like I said, I was kind of on a hiatus. I only got a couple times between 2010 and 2012. This was one of them. Mark Rutsu had technically achieved 148 Surface 1, but the video like got deleted, or it was like really terrible quality and it was like backrolled, something like that. And so as a result, this on the rankings was technically the world record. I think Mark might have just not had a video. It might have been lost media, Ratty. I'm not sure. I have a vague memory of like his terrible quality Surface 1 148. But yeah, I'm not sure. And I think Clemens also allegedly tied it, but his run was lost as well, like something like that. That might have been 148's Secret Agent, but I forget exactly the details. I'm sure I go over them in the Surface 1 essay lore. But 149 was like technically a world record when I got it, like on the rankings, and so I was pretty happy about my 149. We'll count and watch the boosts here. It's so true. It's so true. Okay, so April 2012, I got no PBs in 2011. This was my first PB since October 2010. So that's kind of significant. That might be correct, Mark Adam. It sounds pretty correct. Okay, so I went behind the hut here, which is interesting. And this would have been 1.1 control style. So it would have been quite a bit of a grind. But considering I'd gotten 149 on Secret Agent 5 years earlier, I probably knew that I could get it without too much difficulty. So that was a boost, and then like a self-boost and the guard boost was pretty nice. And they seemed almost chained. There was another boost. Could probably do a full look down here. 4. 5. I'm surprised they didn't do another I guess the side boosts weren't that common at the time, if they were even done. So I'm at 6-0. Again, left hut. You probably saw right side hut on the 148. A back boost. That's insane. 6-1. 7-1. 00 is way scarier retro. So probably make it... Probably 8. I might end up with 8-1, but maybe 7-1. And again, this is probably the 1.1 world record. Yeah, so some people go for a side boost there. Oh my... I I don't know why. Oh, okay. Okay. I threw the nades away so that way I could warp by switching automatically from zero ammo grenade launcher to something else. So that's why I shot the nades away, which is not something like anyone else would do. Isn't that interesting, JD? Like that's I know, right? It's a cool strat. It's a cool strat. I loved switching. I loved warping like that. It was very easy and consistent for me. You remove the factor of like having to touch buttons, right? You just let go, and so it made sense. But like in hindsight, there was at least 2 spots where I could have gone for side grenade launcher boosts, so I could have done that instead of like wasting them. But hey, it was 149. It was technically the world record at the time. But then Mark, not too long after this, Mark would dupe his 148.00, and so that was kind of reinstated as the world record. Literally only 4 months later, he would dupe 148. And so this was only even ranked as the world record for 4 months. But it was a nice time to get, and I was happy about it. And I think it's held up decently. Okay, 13 people have better now, which is getting to be a lot. So it's worth 84 points. It's like, ugh. You know, it's at that point where it's kind of like, oh, like, maybe I should go for lower, in theory. I have no plans to, but yeah. I mean, pretty insane stuff. Yeah, it's definitely the 1.1 untied. And yeah, Flicker, that's exactly it. It's like, because you're using 1.1, you're not doing alien finger, so it's like you're more likely to like mess up a button press by doing the warp, and that's why I went for the warp that style. Alright, we're gonna watch my Surface 1 LTK record, which is still untied from 2017. I'm gonna show it and step away for a second, and just on this, it's not gonna look that good of a run, but it is, because you basically pass away every single second, every single moment, every single attempt. Once you can pass away by any guard in the level, because one shot kills you, especially the first 2 or 3 KF7 guards. But even once you get past that, you get to the first cabin, guards start spawning. And I'll explain why afterwards, JD. I'll explain why. So guards start spawning, and then they can spawn at either sniper or clob. If they spawn, if one sniper spawns, which the odds are very high, then you will pass away, you'll get sniped. But you need all 3 to be clob spawns, and then you need them to not get that close to you to shoot you. And so it's only like 1 in like 20 runs, or maybe more, has even a chance at completion, and so it's pretty tough. And somehow I took a liking to this level on LTK. It's the only level I've played that seriously on LTK, and Boss had recently like tied my 154, which is untied, and then beaten it with 153, and I want to get the untied back, and that's when I got this run. Let's take a look. That was an insane strat there. That like saved a full second. Honestly, that made it 152 by leaving that guard alive and like hoping you'll get hit by him as you run into the satellite building, and then dealing with him on your way out. Hey AJ. They're gonna see me go here, show the LTK settings, then go back and show the cheats that are all the cheats are off. Pretty amazing. So yeah, and I show the LTK settings again. Like JD said, like, you pass away 95% of the time on your way here from those guards. You know, a lot you'll pass away there. I think on LTK, guard spawns immediately, actually, rather than once you go into this building. So that's pretty insane. And, yeah, I YOLO'd it there, which was, like, one part of me YOLOing it. Some people would, like, stop, shoot the key card, and then wait for the other guy to come and then shoot him. I just YOLO'd it. Then I play the rest of the level like Secret and Double Agent, and especially the self-boosting even. Insane. Especially the satellite building, just like going for it. Oh man, see that's where I kind of wanted 151. It's like I got a back boost, man. Like, oh, good 4 boost there. It's a bit risky to go for that because, see, there's right side safe, like I mentioned. This was done in 2017, so that right side safe was known to be faster. It's a bit risky to go under 6 bars of health because then you can't survive a clob shot. But you might not ever really encounter a clob on a good run. They might be like running too far away from you. And there's a KF7 guard around there, but if you're fast enough, you can you can get in before he shoots you, and that's what I did there. And then you have to deal with him on your way out, which I did easily. You can still get sniped or clobbed at the end here, which is like scary, and so you have a lot of nerves when you're doing this shot, which can be hard to hit. But I've been decent at that shot in my life. It's one of those things that I'm decent at. A lot of guys struggle with it, but it's, you know, I struggle with a lot of other things. But yes, exactly. Sterling. That's why, like, I know 151's possible, but I'll take it. It's still untied, which is amazing. Some people thought Ace was going to get lower when he unhoarded a bunch of LTK times, but didn't happen. And so I'll tell you now, I'll reveal the reason finally after all these years as to why the audio sucks on that run. Okay? So it was achieved December 7th, 2017. Now, this was the time, right around the time when my YouTube channel was like first growing. Right? I started making content earlier 2017. I had a few relatively viral videos. You know, top 5 mysteries in GoldenEye speedrunning, and the speedlores were doing well. And a lot of stuff was going on around this time that was epic. Like, the next day, Carl would get Dan 52. I'd do a big video about that. I had just put out a video about, you know, a big cheating scandal in Super Meat Boy, which I've since unlisted because, you know, I don't like doing too much cheating videos these days. But because I was getting into being a YouTube creator, I wanted to, like, learn more about YouTube creators, like, catch up on content that I had missed when I wasn't paying attention. So throughout, like, November, December, I was, like, binging a lot of stuff, like the iDubbbz content cops and, like, Keemstar and Leafy, and kind of going through that kind of era of YouTube history and lore that had just taken place, like, 2016. And so I think I was also, like, playing kind of randomly. Like, I wasn't playing too serious, like a deep session where I wanted to turn on my DVD record, and so I was just recording, like, the raw kind of, you know, through XSplit, right? When you get all the computer sounds. And so I think what I did is I turned off, like, the computer recording and had only mic recording. Something like that. And I was probably watching, like, a Keemstar or Leafy video at the time. And so, in hindsight, it would have been hilarious if I left the computer sounds in, if I was recording that way, and, like, that was the version of Surface 1 LTK 152 that we had, you know? It would have been, like, really, really funny. But I just turned on microphone sounds, and that's how it was recorded. And I I actually rewatched this recently for the first time ever. I'm surprised that the audio was not as bad as I thought it was. I thought the microphone like didn't pick up hardly any game sounds, but it did, and it wasn't so bad. So I thought that was kind of funny and epic. So a good time there, you know. That's the reason why. That is the reason why we have that audio recording for Surface 1 LTK. So pretty insane and epic. All right, moving on. Bunker 1 Agent 17. The story here is pretty well known, pretty well established. Welder got Bunker 117 in 03. It was one of the best world records ever. Insane untied. Insane record. I began playing in 2005. And I didn't have any good way to record my runs from 05. So I guess this is technically an 05 PB for me in one regard. And so I had proven one time in 05 by live capturing a Depot Agent 26, which is pretty cool. I had a digital camera that could record 4 minutes at a time. So I literally like, set it up, played Depot, caked the 26, and uploaded that. Again, I'm 16 years old. It's not like I exactly have the agency to go and like get a capture card and get recording software, right? Like you're 16. It's not uncommon up here, especially for people to not be working jobs at 16. I know in America it can be, but up here, like, no, it's not that common. And so I didn't have any money. I asked for a VCR for Christmas in December 2005 so I could record my speedruns. And so the VCR was underneath the Christmas tree on this day. But on December 21, 2005, I was playing Bunker 1 randomly and fluked 17. It was a left strafe ending, 1.1 cruise control. I fluked it. I couldn't believe it. I told Boss that night. He didn't believe me on aim. He's like, why should I believe you? You're like a new player, you know, you're like top 10 barely. It was insane. And so it was kind of heartbreaking, but I kind of let it be. I was like, that's life. That's life, you know, move on. I played a bunch, got some other records, but the whole time I knew I wanted to go dupe 17. Would it ever happen? Because at the time it's considered like one of the best records in the game. So I played a lot of levels, eventually got back to Bunker 1 Agent. By this time, Mouser and Ilu had tied 17. And I was like, I need to get it as well. Boss had got it. And so let's just take a look. Unfortunately, we have some strange YouTube music as well. But here we go. World-class golden player must duplicate the best world record on tape. You know, very 2006 era, you know, cringy millennial teenager at the time. And so I was able to do it. And Kirby faces. That's exactly what it is. I think this was 1.2 control style. Because I realized there was not really any doors to deal with. I must get, like, super boosted here. Wow, hardly. Yeah, kind of. Nice, really good warp, though. And it was 17. I got it on VCR, and then I could either mail it to someone, or I would replay it on VCR and film it with my capture card. Which is what I did. So, pretty cool time, and I was pretty keen to get that duped. I have since duped it like many, many more times, including like one first try, but you know, it is what it is. I played a bit for 16, no dice, and so yeah, I got this uncaptured December 2005, and then finally I got a one captured in October 06, so pretty cool. This run is ancient as well. And again, this logo, imagine I went back to using this logo like on YouTube and stuff. It would be so funny. Man, this is November 06. So I had probably just taken like 3rd place behind Boss and Ilu. And man, what a trip that is to think about. November 06, grade 12. It's funny because, like, at the time I thought, like, oh, I'm in grade 12, I should be responsible and not play video games anymore. And like I was very regretful still playing video games. I was like, oh, grade 11, whatever, it's fine to play video games. Grade 12, I shouldn't be playing anymore, you know, I should be focusing on other stuff. It's hilarious in hindsight, I suppose, but it is how I felt at the time. But even so, I still begrudgingly played. And so, this was Bunker 2 Secret Agent. 23 was untied by Jimbo in 04. It was still the record a couple years later, 06. This is my Bunker 1 Secret Agent 23 from November 2006. Still my PB. This one has bled horribly, but I mean, it was achieved 15 years ago, so I can't be too shocked. Nice snapshot. Key card. Hit the cam. Pause. Analyzer. Boost. Boost. And again, I throw the analyzer and get the forced switch to warp, which is, I think, a very underrated strategy. 23 seconds. And believe it or not, this was a world record at the time. Clem would get 21 in June 2007. Yeah, I agree, JD Black, I agree, so. No, it's so true, Pace. It's so true. Exactly. That's pretty much exactly what I was thinking at the time as well when I was in grade 12 there, so. Yeah, I was the 7th person to get this time. Who beat me to it? Jimbo, Boss, Alex, Ace, Wouter, Ilu, myself. Clem, Leo, Santos, Lovins, Bauer, we got it, and then Clem. And since 22 happened, only 5 players have had the record. Clem, Ace, Boss, Luke, and Swiss. Pretty crazy. And I mean, 20 Secret Agent is becoming one of the longest standing on tides. An amazing record by Ace from May 2018. Yeah, I mean, how badly has this time bled? Like, let's take a look here. Bunker 1, Secret Agent. Well, it's worse. I mean, it's worse 72. It's not terrible. My Facility 00 is worse. So, honestly, consider my Facility 00 was done in 2012, 2013. You know, this is not so bad for a time from 06 to be worth 72 points. I mean, I'll take it. Could be a lot worse, so funny stuff. Wow, that is amazing. I love RW Goose 9000 made his new avatar the that image of the ancient Goose, the very first ever Goose logo. Pretty epic. All right, now it's time to get to another great record. I mean, this one's so historic. I tell you this, we're already going way longer than I expected we would go tonight. I may have to split up this stream into 3 or 4 parts, honestly. Which, I gotta at least get through tonight, but it is what it is. Okay, we're gonna keep trucking along here. Bunker 100. This was the level that really first got my stream kind of hype. In spring 2013, I was grinding for 150 hours to get 102. I didn't get it. Ace got it. I felt completely defeated, conquered. Clem had it as an untied for a few years, and it broke my heart that I wasn't the one to slay it. Ace slayed it, and I moved on. And it's hard. It can be hard. Even now, speedrunners have a hard time with it when they pause a goal and move on to something else. Their chat is always bombarding them. Oh, what did you do? Why aren't you playing? Did you give up, streamer? And, it can be very annoying and disheartening. It's a reminder of your failures. But I moved on and whatever and so on and so forth. And then I didn't get 102. And then in 2014, summer 2014, I just randomly played Bunker 100. Again, I was playing the best GoldenEye of my life. And finally, somehow, I played 150 hours. 150 hours and didn't get it. And then randomly in summer 2014, I went out and very easily got it. And this is really one of my defining records in the game. And so we'll dedicate to a SpeedLore champion, our pal, Mud-Dry Bread. A huge thanks, Mud-Dry, for all your support throughout the years of SpeedLore. And check out this truly beautiful, amazing, legendary speedrun of my career. Trying to get the CRT sandwich kind of intense. Oh yeah, the live version is a bit... drops some frames, but it's better to watch.
Let's do this.
There is a captured version with no frame drops out there.
Come on, run, baby.
So you need a nade to come, you need Boris to run to the mainframe room. It's very luck-based at the time, very scary, very mystical, although it's since been somewhat demystified. This is a lot of frame drops. My computer must have sucked at the time. I think I've gone through 2 new computers since then. Only 1 guard came there, which is nice. I'm luring the alarm to go off. I botched this slightly because I couldn't get 1 more door open, which I don't think would have been enough for 101, but maybe? And so that door's closed.
Let's go.
I think I got a good boost here, though. I think that was a... But I got a back boost.
Go! Come on! It might be 102. Holy fuck. Oh my fucking god! Are you kidding me? Are you fucking serious right now? Am I living in real life? Am I living in fucking real life right now? What the fuck? Oh my god, the fuck is this shit? Oh my god. Oh, this is just fucking maniacal. This is just maniacal. Dude, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm so fucking happy. Oh. Dude, no joke. This is 3 world records in 3 days. And this is a world record I couldn't get after 160 hours. And finally got. It's just inexplicable right now. I'm playing and acting like I'm 18 years old right now. Like, it's just insane. It's just absolutely insane.
It's amazing. And yeah, so I got Depot 25 the night before on stream, iconic, and Surface 1, Agent 102 the day before that. And so I'd been grinding for other stuff as well. And I mean, I'm kind of in shock now watching this back, because like I literally played 160 hours for this, didn't get it, and then a year later I revisited it, and like within 1 session I got it. I'd probably dabbled in it a little bit over that year, like every now and then I might do a session of it or something, or a couple runs, but it was insane. And like, man, it's like there are many amazing records I look back on that like still make me happy, but like this is definitely one of them. I'm sure it's like, I'm sure these professional golfers and tennis players and stuff look back at certain tournaments they won and that really stick out to them, and speedrunners, you know, do the same. And so this is one that really sticks with me, because I struggled for it so much and I felt like completely defeated as a young man that Ace beat me to it, and I wasn't. And it's a weird level, because like I was so bad at this level for so many years, Kind of similar to the Damn Double O story, if you guys know that, and we'll revisit that a little bit later tonight. But, yeah. Unbelievable. It's like really bad, and I'm like, let's play this level I'm bad at and try to get good at it. And I did get good, but not quite good enough to get the world record. And then finally I broke through a year later, and so it's really, really epic. Amazing, amazing. What a run. I want to bask in it, you know? But we can't bask too long because we got to move on. We got to get some other runs and some other run dedications, and you know, like this one. This was earlier that summer, believe it or not. Believe it or not. Silo Agent 101. Everyone knows now the record is 59 by Mark Rutsu, and recently tied by Perfect Ace, by the way, which is pretty insane. But 101 was the world record at the time. And Silo was a level that I once had an untied sweep on, which is pretty insane. And so it's a level I've always been like, okay, I gotta get the record on. It's one of those levels like playing Silo kind of feels like home to me, you know? So 5 people at the record: Mark, Clem, Ace, Luke, and Lockwood. And man, Lockwood got Silo 101 only 4 days before his Streets 112. That's nuts that he got 101 and 112 so close. Like, that's really crazy. He was on fire at the time. At that time. And but 101 is a good record for me. I played 30 hours on streams, like a solid grind. A solid grind. Nothing too insane. I think I actually got 102 not too long before this. Like, I had 103 as an untied world record and an untied sweep, and then didn't touch the level for a while. And so, yeah, I mean, if you look here, it's kind of crazy. It's like I had 103 in 2007, and didn't touch it for 7 years. It's, man, looking at, like, how time flies by, it's unbelievable. Like, really, really, this stream is really making me see the years fly by, which is kind of crazy. So I spent 7 years not playing this level, went back to it, and now it's been 8 years since then. But yeah, you see, I improved up to 102, and then it took me 10 more days to get 101. And so we're going to watch that 101. Legendary run and reaction. And so this one goes out to our SpeedLore champion, Philip P. A huge thanks, Philip, for supporting SpeedLore on Patreon. Let's take a look, baby. I think it's a really clean run, really nice. Getting a bit of an echo because I have the game feed plus the TV. Didn't care to correct it. No regrets. You can see a Coke bottle on the webcam, bottom right corner. This was peak Goose, Loasaurus. 100% this was. No question. Get the door open. Insane. Insane boost. That was such a good injure on that back guard there. Such a good injure. Boost, snap, left side, up the stairs. Warp.
Yeah, baby! Yeah, baby! Yeah, baby! Yes! 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 That's what I'm fucking talking about! Yes! Holy fuck! Holy fucking shit, dude. That was so insane. Oh my god. Dude. That was Tipsy's first fucking run. Oh my god, that was so fucking crazy. And if I'm honest, I botched that run. The ending was slow. With a really solid ending, that could have been 1 minute. Like, the pause was almost touching the metal. That's what we call it when the second hand is like barely... There's 2 pieces on Bond's watch. At the 12 o'clock mark. And if the second hand is touching one of those, we call it touching the metal. And that run was almost touching the metal. And when I had that pause, I'm like, this run totally can be 101. I better nail this ending. And I didn't nail it. And I'm like, shit, that might be 102. I knew it was close. I knew it was really, really close. But I thought it might be 102, and when 101 came up, man, I'm pumped, dude. That only took 30 hours. That's, like, not bad at all for such a solid world record. The king of the silo is back, baby. The king of the fucking silo is back. That's all I gotta say. Thanks to everyone who donated. But also thanks to... or subbed. But thanks to Tipsy, because it was your first fucking run that got the 101, and like, that can't be beat. That's so insane. Woo!
No, it was absolutely insane. And yeah, so it was kind of funny because I had this thing that like automatically updated the top of the channel. So like the run was dedicated 10 or 20 minutes to the most recent subscriber donor, and they kind of formed a queue of like who would be up next. And so literally before the run starts, Tipsy's thing comes in, and so it was really funny and epic that like he had the run dedication. And I mean, Bulls was a good dude too. He was subbed to my channel for like 6 years straight, so you know, RIP, you know, not actually, didn't actually pass, but you get the point. And, yeah, it is, like that message in chat was quite a nostalgic and epic time. Very, very epic and good. I mean, that run made me happy, 101. And a lot of people have beaten it now. I mean, not too many, but enough people had beaten it. Let's see how many people have got 1 minute or lower now, so... I mean, geez, 10 people have 1 minute or lower. That's actually crazy to think about. Like, that's really insane. It's kind of surprising, but it's the way it is. But at the time it was a world record, I was very happy. Ace actually lowered to 1 minute a few days later only. So this was only world record for 4 days. And what's interesting is that Silo's Secret Agent, the record was still 109, which was my untied from 2009. So 5 years later, my record still stood there, but Ace would take that out for 108 not long after that. He would get the untied sweep after getting 1 minute on the stage. Yeah, by July 2014, he had achieved the untied sweep with 108 Secret Agent. And so I went from like having a Silo world record since like 2006 to 2014 to not having any Silo world records. And so since it's a level I once had an untied sweep on, it was kind of emotional for me to no longer have the Silo world record. Especially Silo's Secret Agent was insane because it was a level, it took me, like, I got the world record on Agent and Double O pretty easily back in, like, 06. But Secret took me, like, 100, 200 hours to finally get the 112. And then I broke through at 110, which is, like, one of the best world records ever for the time it was set. And then I even lowered that to 109. And I'm like, so Silo SA was always one of my most emotional levels, one of my most epic levels. I mean, the 110, which I had in 2007, is still worth 89 points today. Only 8 people have ever done better. So, like, 110 is still insane. And I got 109, but then Ace beat it with 108 in 2014. And even Ace getting 108, Mark Rutsu had tied the 108 as well. So it's like, I kind of felt like I was being left behind on my favorite level, Silo. One of my, it's either Silo or Straights, and tonight we're not getting a Straight, so it's Silo. And so, yeah, one of my best SpeedLore episodes is definitely Silo Secret Agent, where I talk about this run in length. But obviously, some will know, I kind of got to like the peak 2014, and then things kind of stopped for a while, fizzled out, right? And so, if you know the story from Silo SA, that's when my mother unfortunately was diagnosed with cancer, and so it was a big 2-year journey for us until mid 2016, when unfortunately she passed away. And that is kind of why I had this huge peak in my stream in 2014, and then you're hit with that in life, And you can kind of really see it tonight. It's like I was peaking so much, it was epic. And then, like a train, you get hit. And then that combined with going back to school in 2014, I had little time to play, and that's why I didn't really play much or stream much in 2014 and 2015. And that's why this next run is so important and emotional for me here, because this was my first world record after that whole ordeal in mid 2016. In August 2016. It's like I kind of thought I want to get back into playing and grinding and streaming and making content, but I was still kind of trying to, pick up the pieces and figure out what to do next in life, right? Taking it slow. And I just remember one night in August 2016, Jono DSX Challenger was like, mate, stream. It was probably like a Telegram or WhatsApp group. And for some reason I was like, yeah, why not? Like, you can't really explain these things, I had been playing a little bit off stream, a tiny little bit, but not very much. And John was like, mate, stream. I'm like, yeah, the mood finally hits you after all that you've gone through. Finally hits you. And I'm like, let's stream, baby. And I crank up the stream, Silo Secret Agent, the record's 108, Ace and Mark, and somehow within like 10 or 20 minutes I got this run. And it's insane, and I couldn't believe it happened. It's still a great time, 5.5 years later. And as a result, this one goes out to our very first ever SpeedLore Apotheosis, E Street. Thank you, E Street, for your truly incredible support of SpeedLore. Remarkable, unbelievable. This is my most meaningful run probably ever, and tonight it goes out to you. So let's take a look. Live stream capture with chat. I wasn't sure how the audio was there, but here we go. Oh man, that warp is insane. Like, that door could have trolled me, and usually does troll you. But I sensed it was warping open, and I warped it perfectly. It's insane, because it could have been 107 without that back. And it was a low 108. 108.45 or something. 108.45. Without the back, it could have been it had a chance at 107. Like, Jono's in chat freaking out. I should have blown up that chat a little bit more. I turn it on like, what has happened? It was honestly pretty close to 107. I've been playing a little bit here and there through the summer, and I did have a complete choke. I had a warp at 108, and I botched it. I had a 108 pace orb off warp, and I just missed the door. But I knew it was 108 pace. It was even low 108 pace, and I did clutch it. It was a low 108. You couldn't ask for too godly of an ending. I just said in Discord I can get 106. Because I understand maxes and shit more, Grav, me saying I can get 106 would be like Cheese saying he can get 138. He probably can. But, like, you're not playing on that plane yet, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know you're capable of it, but, like, in order to actually get it, you have to elevate your game multiple times and continually play at that level. This run, I mean, we're gonna. I got it right here. You'll see. So, I think most of it was like pretty fucking perfect. I'll let it play through once, and then maybe I'll like go through and pause and explain a little bit. But that's fine. That's perfect. That's really good. That's pretty much perfect. If you're at 15.3 through that door is perfect, and then you're a mid 13. That's perfect. Opening the door at a low 9, a very low 9, and up the stairs at a low 6 is perfect. Like a mid 58 is perfect, and that was like a high 58, and the guard was headshotted, so that's like insanely good. This was a 55 door, and I'm through at 33. Oh, that's so good.
Perfect. The way I got through there was pretty much perfect. That door could have been slightly faster, but that was perfect, and that was perfect. Back boost there. And this was pretty much perfect. It could have been more perfect if the guard ran out of the door and I went right side. You see, that wasn't like, it could have been a little bit more perfect. Warp. So I'm warped out of 107 pace, another back boost, so 2 back boosts actually, and a little like not perfect running there, but good enough for 108. 112.15 is a 108.46. So 2 back boosts and 108.46. Clearly that run had 107 potential. Basically a 55 door has 107 potential and 106 potential with insane ending and shit. But that was a decent run, 108. Yeah, I'm gonna end stream and upload the vid and shit. So thanks, DSX. Insane, unbelievable. I mean, I watched that back and it's still like an unbelievable moment, you know? It is kind of crazy. Like as much as streaming can be troll and like bad in a lot of ways, and you know, we're all overexposed to the world and putting ourselves out there and stuff. It's like I was able to capture a moment like that, which is incredibly meaningful for me. You know, like, you know, it was the first world record back. You know, after losing my mother and not knowing like what I was gonna do with the rest of my life from there. And it's like, I'm here, okay, you know, we can say what we want about that. But yeah, it was just kind of like getting back to a familiar place after
2 crazy years, you know? And it's like, I've gotten some great runs, but like that one might be the most meaningful ever. And it's like, I kind of have little interest in playing again. Like, I kind of haven't had the mood to play again, and I know throughout my life I'll get that mood back at some point and play a little bit for a month or two, but like, 107 is something that I would consider going for, I think. I mean, it would be such an insane run to tie 107 with Ace and Mark now. They have 107. But, like, Silo SA is my level, you know? It's like the level it's my level. If there's something I gotta do, it's Silo SA, you know? So, okay. Great stuff, great. I mean, my analysis in there was so good that I'll just leave it at that. I don't even know where to start with this one. Like, Silo Double O Agent. So, it's kind of interesting because I got that 108 in summer 2016. By 2017, think again, earlier in the stream we talked about Runway Double O Agent. The very aggressive streams, I mean, that's the only way to describe them. Aggressive, troll, kind of toxic, kind of too insane, a bit too much, you know. And stream was crazy in 2017. You know, partly because I didn't know like what I was doing, didn't know what direction to go at the time. Was still kind of lost. But in 2017, especially October, November 2017, that's when Mark Rutsu got Silo Secret Agent 107. So he broke this very important world record of mine, 108. And so I want to counter that by getting Silo Double O Agent world record. And it was a really insanely troll moment. That's part of it too, Grey Crest. The world was getting wild around then. You know, the entire world was getting really, really crazy. And I think we still haven't recovered from all the craziness sparked around then. And we may not for 5 or 10 or 15 or maybe even 30 or 40 more years. But I hope we will someday. And yeah, that was a big part of it. It was like the ignition spark, and things were crazy. Including Mark getting Silo SA 107, and then a bunch of guys could not get world records. Like, Luke was going for Aztec SA 130 and it was struggling, and Clem was going for Silo Agent 1 minute and was struggling. And I was going for Silo Double O 121 and struggling. And because like I was just had too much pressure to get it, I guess. I was streaming, it was insane. And we made it up to see that Mark cursed the rest of the GoldenEye top 10, right? It adds to the storyline. Oh, Mark placed a nefarious curse on all the other speedrunners. Great story. Was it actually true? Hard to say. But I was streaming one night, saw Double O, and I was so aggressive, so loud. I was so annoying, you know? And the stream was not a great place, for sure. I mean, I look back on the streams, in the damn Double O lore, we looked back deeply at that era, and it was not good. And so it's maybe no surprise I didn't get 121 on stream. But one night after streaming for like 5 or 6 hours, I turned off the stream, and I kept playing. And then I got this run. It's amazing. This is another run that's like really, really makes me happy and epic. A great run, legendary run, and so it's going out to our pal, our amazing longest time SpeedLore champion, Mr. Moxie. Let's pick it up from the curse when okay, this is actually a good point to pick up this video edit from. Watch it from here. So Mark cursed everyone. Could a hero break the curse? So Mark was going for, this is Dr. Soviet, as we dubbed him. A great edit. Great edit. And then the story carries on from there. Oh look, Yendis is in chat with a different username. With a 1 instead of an I. Dr. Rapscallion. Okay, I renamed him.
Point 96. Was that it? Yes! Fuck yes! 107. Fucking tonight. Fucking tonight.
Slightly missed door there before the silver crate area, but like it's still an insane pace run. Insane snapshot, rare strategy, opening the door, then pausing for the plastique, not that often used. Stuck behind Oro, but like, still. Such a hard level to get a perfect run. 121.80. Types of storm. Get to my stream. Like this, like I just did such a good edit. I was so hyped up. I did such an insane edit on this run. And I skipped from 123 as well. I had gotten a number of 123s on stream and I skipped. Waiting a bit for people to come. I started up stream again, waiting for people to come in.
I can't imagine anyone else is going to show up. Are you ready for it?
The people couldn't believe it. I did, yeah, I watched cinema by accident because I was so hyped up.
Are you ready for it, baby?
Like, as insane and troll as these streams were, like, this was an amazing moment, honestly. Amazing moment.
I'll rewatch the run.
It's one of my favorite runs, by far.
Thank you all for being a part of this journey.
What a run. What? Like, man, what a great video. That was such a good edit. Such a good edit I whipped up that night, man. Unbelievable. What an insane... I don't have anything to put. I don't have anything to add. It was just, like, unbelievable. It was such a great run and a great moment. And, man... What's really insane about this Silo 00, and, like, I don't want to give Ace ideas, but it's still the world record, and only me and Ace have it. Right? I tied... It wasn't untied, it was a tie, but, like... I mean, Irie came close last year, got 122, but, like, not many other people are close. You know, JD's at 124, recently, not bad. This is just the beginning. I mean, we'll see. It's like, in my heart, I kind of want 120. But, like, Ace, if Ace were to play it, and he's been playing Silo lately, he would beat me to it, no question asked. But, like, I could get 120 still, you know? I haven't touched this level since 2017, I'm still 3rd in the leaderboards. Like, Silo is one of my levels. And, like, yeah, Ace is Ace, and he can beat me. But, like, Silo's one of my levels, you know? Man, I would love to get I would love to get another Untied on Silo before my time is up here on this earthly plane. You know what I'm saying? You know, when as a man you look into the future and you say, before I die, I gotta do something. That's it, man. That's it. That's what I gotta do. We'll see. We'll see. I want it, but, like, it's too insane. It's too insane. Now, before we transition to the second half of this, let's watch this video that's being spammed in chat. I hope it's not a screamer. Let's see this strange, unusual, random video that's being spammed in chat here. So some strange and unusual. It's just titled 28 January. And let's take a look here. And what happens here? Wow, warped through the glass. Unbelievable. So that's interesting. Who knows if it's spliced or not, but we'll leave that in there because why not? Very strange, unusual, bizarre, unearthen, apocalyptic, Kafka-esque, Lovecraftian, odd, curious, abnormal, surreal, aberrant, deviant, atypical, goofy, kooky, eerie, supernatural, paranormal, outlandish, unsettling, uncharted, alien, and normal divergent is the only way I can describe that video. Very, very strange. So from there, we will move on to the second half of tonight's episode, which is Frigate to Statue, and Dam, because we haven't got to Dam yet. So 9,000, I actually have a thread that I clicked on with all my synonyms for strange and unusual. So, okay, let's get rolling, because we're already 2 hours deep, which is way longer than I want to spend on this. I mean, I want it to be like a digestible episode for the YouTube audience. So, you know, I'll throw in like a possible edit cut if I choose to leave at 2 hours on YouTube, and I'll do the second half later. So, thanks for watching, everyone, and have a good night.